Hi everybody, are you in a bad mood? Well actually, it's Friday, so you shouldn't be in a bad mood because it's the weekend! But I do understand that because of all the changes and all the things that are going on, it is natural for us to sometimes get a little more grumpy or not feel so good sometimes. So, maybe you're feeling sad, or maybe you're a little disappointed, or perhaps you haven't gotten enough sleep, or maybe you're hangry. You know what that means, right? Like you're hungry. Or you're just flat out cranky because you want to see your friends and you want to go back to your sports and you want to play on the park and not have caution tape all around it. I totally understand. So that's why today we're reading The Big Bad Mood. And you know what else? Easter's coming up. So that is something that should help you defeat those grumpy moods and have something to look forward to. Because you might not be able to do an Easter egg with a lot of people, but you can definitely be creative and do an Easter egg hunt in your house. So let's get started. The Big Bad Mood. Bappity Rabbit woke up one morning feeling very grumpy. The sun was shining and the birds were singing, but Bappity was in a big, bad mood. "Bother those noisy birds," he muttered, "and bother the sun as well." Bappity sat on a branch and felt cross. "Hello," cried Squirrel and Mouse, scampering up. "Are you ready for a picnic?" Mumbled Bappity and stuck out his bottom lip. "Oh dear," said Squirrel. "Where's your bad mood come from?" "I don't know," Bappity grumbled. It was there when I got out of bed." And we know that does happen sometimes, doesn't it? "Look, Bappity," laughed Mouse, trying to cheer him up with a clever trick. Bappity wasn't impressed. "What about this?" Squirrel cried, turning over heels. "It's not fair," Bappity thought. "My feet are too big for that." And he stomped off up the hill. "Let's do what Bappity does," Mouse whispered to Squirrel. "It might make him laugh." This happens sometimes, doesn't it? So they stomped their feet and looked as cross as they could, but Bappity didn't even notice. Oh man, this is what happens to us when we're too grumpy. We forget to think about how our mood is affecting everybody else. "We found the top of the world," Squirrel cried when they reached the hilltop. "Look, Bappity," cried Mouse. "We can see for miles and miles. This is so pretty." But a bumblebee buzzed around Bappity's nose. "Bother that bee," he huffed. "Buzz off, Bumble." Wow. "I know a good game," said Squirrel, stretching out on the grass. "We pick a cloud and see if it looks like something." "I can see a rabbit," cried Mouse, "and it looks just like Bappity." Can you guys see? Bappity stared at the cloud. It had 2 rabbit ears, and a big grumpy face. "It doesn't look a bit like me," he said, and he closed his eyes tight so he couldn't see the cloud anymore. Oh, so that was good. Bappity didn't actually like seeing himself be in a grumpy mood. So maybe that's going to help him. "Right," said Squirrel, standing up. "I know what will cheer you up. Let's all do handstands." "No, thanks," Bappity muttered. "Oh, come on, Bappity," said Mouse. "Don't be such a spoil sport." "I don't want to play your stupid games," Bappity snapped, and he stormed off by himself. Geez, his friends are being so friendly. They're really trying hard to help him, but nothing is helping his Grump Grumpaniny mood. Bappity sat all alone, feeling grumpy and sad, while Squirrel and Mouse played together in the sunshine. Well, I guess that is what happens. If you're too grumpy, no one wants to be around you, so then everybody goes off and plays themselves. A ladybug was sunbathing nearby when it fell on its back and couldn't get up. "Are you having a bad day?" Bappity said, gently turning it over. The ladybug hummed as it flew away. Bappity started to smile. "Let's all roll to the bottom of the hill," said Mouse, bounding over. "All right," said Bappity quietly. finally starting to get a little more happy. Yay! With their heads in a spin and their legs in a twirl, they went bumbling and bouncing all the way down, twisting and turning through the long grass. So as we know, you guys, sometimes our body needs to move, or we need to get outside and get some air or do exercise. So maybe that's what's helping Bappity, as well as his friends, of course. That was brilliant, Bappity said. Hey, Bappity said Squirrel, your bad mood is gone. Where do you think it could be? I don't know, he chuckled. Perhaps I left it on the top of the hill. Then, looking around, he said, where's Mouse? Bappity and Squirrel found Mouse halfway up the bank, stuck in a molehill. Uh-oh, are you all right? Asked Bappity. If you guys were to make a smart guess, how do you think the mouse is gonna feel now? I hope he's not in a bad mood. Bother that stupid molehill, snuffed Mouse, brushing down her fur. Oh dear, Squirrel whispered. Now Mouse is feeling grumpy. Don't worry, says Bappity. Together we'll get rid of that bad mood for good. And Bappity and Squirrel gave Mouse a great big hug. Because as we know, sometimes we just need a little love. The end. So, you guys, there were a couple things that helped Bappity get out of his bad mood, correct? What were they? Let's think back on the story. I know one was his friends. His friends were constantly trying to cheer him up. And you guys don't necessarily have a lot of friends around you right now to cheer you up. But it's okay, because instead you can reach out to your family for hugs and love and affection. That would be perfect. And I'm also going to post you guys and tell you a little bit about Grump Grumpaniny, which is a character that gets into your head. But don't worry, we can defeat Grump Grumpaniny by being friendly and thinking about our inner coach, right? And also, of course, getting outside, moving your body, making sure you're eating healthy, and checking in with your family and on your schedule. That's it. Bye.